5, 4.
DJ Storm.
Shame on DJ Storm for interrupting that intro. That was pretty rude of him.
Very rude.
And also shame on the Cleveland Browns kicker. What do you think, Joe? That was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, we're going.
We're just kicking into week 3 here. But pretty crazy week coming in with the second tie of the season between two pretty dynamic teams, Vikings and the Packers. On a bullshit call, which we will get to. As a Bears fan, I got to definitely say that I think Clay did everything he had to do at that point. And it was a little bit unfortunate, but before I get too far ahead, how are we doing today, Brad?
Okay. I could be doing better. Lost to Michael in our keeper league. And
Oh, Michael's in the house, too. I feel like this is planned. That's why he's like, hey, what time you
I was
guys
waiting
are?
for that to come up, then I was going to leave.
I fell to 0-2 and not the good start I needed, but top waivers.
They say the playoff odds are not good for 0-2 teams.
Yeah. Luckily in our league, you're not done yet at this point. In most fantasy leagues, you can still come back if you get on a hot streak here. So
You said Michael is in your league, obviously, so I know that's a
yeah,
easy
I mean,
one.
there's a couple of pushovers, and unfortunately, I've got the highest points scored against me so far. But yeah, so even if you're 0-2, whoever's listening out there,
It's
your
early.
season's not done. You can still go on
It's
a run
early.
here.
It's
Yeah,
early.
you never know when that Todd Gurley type player is gonna bust off and go nuts during the playoffs for you and end of the season. So you got still 11 weeks of the regular season here before the playoffs ramp up.
Yes, indeed. And if I may say, it's great to have back our producer.
Hey, guys. I know everything about football.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. How was Serbia, sir?
It was very Serbian.
Yeah.
It was good. I had a good time.
A lot of Schlevo.
No, I didn't do any drinking because I'm a lame-o now. Just for the wedding. I drank at the wedding.
Someone mute his mic. No,
Hey, can you
I'm
mute
going to
your
talk
mic?
so much during this whole thing. It's going to be really annoying.
that's respectable. I could probably go a couple days and I'll just grab a beer on accident. Oh,
Yeah.
I was supposed to quit drinking.
Oh,
It's all right.
yeah.
It's a sign of alcoholism, but it's all good. So getting into Thursday, starting off here, Baltimore Ravens pulling up short against the Bengals. Bengals showed that they seem like they are an upgrade there. AJ Green coming in with 3 TDs right off the bat. Andy Dalton, I think, totaled 4. Looking pretty solid there. Not really too big on the Ravens' offensive side of the ball. The defense looks to be, pretty penetratable to say the least, but
Pretty what?
pretty penetratable. Pretty penetratable.
Okay.
Pretty penetratable.
Yeah, I think these are two, similar teams. They have good offensive players, good defensive players, but not good offensive unit. Like, they're not
Yeah.
going to be able to score crazy amount of points. The other team in the division, Steelers. But at the same time, they're the only teams in the division with a win right now. Bengals 2-0, Ravens 1-1.
Yeah. Division could be up in the air. We
Something
got
about the Browns?
The Browns are 0-1-1.
yeah,
Still haven't won a game in, I don't know, since my son was born.
but I think there's hope. Yeah, that's a crazy stat right there. Huh? Since your son's born, the Browns have not won. Oh, what a rough game, but of course, a typical shitty game for the Thursday night.
Yeah.
Sunday started off pretty good though. Minnesota Vikings. We'll get to them, Joe. Trust me, we're not gonna leave your Browns hanging. We got a lot to talk about on there. But yeah, the Vikings tied the Packers, which second tie in 2 weeks is a little bit rarity. But like I said earlier, the sack was pretty bullshit of a hit.
Yeah, we're going back to last week. I mentioned I didn't like that body weight rule that they came up with, and it's so hard to, as you're tackling a guy, if you're tackling him correctly, it's so hard not to end up on top of them like that. But of course, the quarterback's got to get that extra protection. And but other than that, I mean, you can't. Kirk Cousins got the opportunity, and he's really good. And with that team, with that defense, and with his weapons, this is a team that's definitely a Super Bowl favorite.
You know, one thing that perturbs me is the fact that Rodgers can just sit in the pocket for about 20 seconds still, even with the best defense in the league coming at him, you know. It's like, really? You could tell he's beat up. Personally, I don't think he's going to last through week 9. There's going to be some sort of, eventually the wheels are going to fall off for sure, and they're going to realize, wow, this guy's going to be screwed. You know, my long shot call is maybe they go after Nick Foles once comes back here. Be an interesting thought there, but I could definitely see him going after somebody just to make sure they can progress with those guys, because that unit's not going to be around as long. And if Rodgers really needs some surgery, it's going to set him back a couple of years. But I'll keep my hopes on the other side of the spectrum here.
And just to touch, I brought up Cooks there. He threw for 425 yards and 4 touchdowns. And you sit there and wonder, with Diggs and Thielen, are they the best receiving duo in the league? They're one of the best for sure. And you didn't know how they were going to work with Cousins. Well, Diggs caught 9 for 128 and 2 touchdowns, and Thielen caught 12 for 131 and a touchdown. And, I mean, they're going to be very good, those two guys, because Cousins can throw the ball a lot better than Case Keenum and guys they've had in the past. So I think that this offense is scary good. It could be one of the best, and, of course, we already know the defense is really good.
Yeah. I think they're definitely the team in the next couple of years as far as people predicting Super Bowl odds. Expect to see the Vikings up there on that short list. One quick note, Dalvin Cook kind of came up a little bit banged up. They're kind of speculating if he's going to be out here the next game, but obviously that's a Latavius Murray pickup in the fantasy perspective. But
they said he was just dealing with some cramps. They think he'll be all right. So keep an eye on that if you're a Cook owner.
Definitely. Next game, Chargers went in and beat the shit out of the Bills. Could have been a little bit worse, but, 31-20. And like I said, Phillip Rivers, man, he's going to have a great year. I know you were talking pretty highly on him earlier in the year. And Melvin Gordon, guy's an animal.
3 touchdowns for Gordon. Rivers doing what he did. My favorite part about this game is cornerback for the Bills, Vontae Davis, at halftime, retires.
Yeah. These guys really suck.
Like, he's sitting there thinking, all right, we were the playoffs last year. I'm going to give it another go. Week 1, they get destroyed. Week 2, they're getting destroyed at half. And he's just like, you know what? It's not worth it. I've had a good career. Former Dolphin and Colt. He hung it up at halftime, and now a bad Bills defense probably gets a little worse.
Yeah, which isn't surprising. They don't get a lot of things going on there offensively, defensively. McCoy looks horrible.
Yeah, and he's got some bad ribs now. He damaged his ribs, I guess, messed up the cartilage in between his ribs, so he's day-to-day right now. You got to keep an eye on him for this week, although they play Minnesota, so it's probably not an ideal matchup anyway.
Definitely. Carolina fell a little bit short to the Falcons here. Good division matchup. Good to see what that division is going to be made of here. Obviously, Carolina didn't play up to par the previous week, and Falcons, they're a little bit iffy here, if I may say. Julio Jones looked hot the first week. Matty Ice, I don't know if he can pull it together here. And with Devontae Freeman out, Tevin Coleman's definitely going to be the guy.
Well, Coleman's a really good running back, and I think if he doesn't, for some reason, sign an extension with the Falcons, which would be stupid at this point because he can be a starter somewhere, I think when his contract's up in 2 years, he's going to be a pretty well-paid guy as far as the running backs go.
Yeah.
And he'll have a shot here. So right now with Freeman's likely to miss a couple more weeks. If you got Coleman, just keep plugging him in because he's the real deal. He had 16 carries, 107 yards, and one of very few 100-yard rushers on the season in 2 weeks so far. So if you got a guy being able to get you good rushing numbers right now, and Coleman's also a guy that gets you the receptions and receiving yards, you got to keep rolling him out there. He's a running back 1 with Freeman out.
most definitely. And I guess I could quit talking shit about Montel draft him every league, about 5th round pick. I'm like, really? Okay. So you still suck, Monty. Joe, why don't you let us know your real feelings about what happened in New Orleans this weekend with your Cleveland Browns.
Once again, my name's Joe. Joe Riley. At any rate, I'm a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. Have been forever.
Joe Riley of Musical Mediated Podcast, which you guys should definitely check out.
Musically
Yeah.
meditated.
Yeah, musically meditated. Check
Musically
it out.
mediated.
Meditated. Meditated.
I've had a couple beers, people.
But what was your question? What happened with that game?
What the hell happened to the kicker specifically?
Well, you know what? Here's a crazy stat or a statistic, whatever you want to call it, or a fact. They drafted him this year. Like, he was a
Which is rare because no one drafts
no one
kickers
does that.
anymore.
So what were they thinking in the like in the higher ups? Like, we're gonna waste a draft pick on a kicker. And I remember when that happened, everybody was laughing, but like, oh, this kid, I think his name's Zane Gonzalez or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's good, blah blah blah. But he missed 2 extra points and he missed 2 crucial.
PATs, yeah, man.
PATs, man. I mean,
Maybe it's the jinx of the Hispanic kickers. I mean, you had the guy who drafted in 2nd round by the.
he looks whiter than me and
Roberto or
Hey, look at me. I'm
my-
Hispanic. I look
And
whiter
Michael.
than the average bear.
Michael and I are pretty Caucasian, but that's that. But at any rate, it's just after watching the Browns for this long, it's just like, how can they lose? And it's a terrible mindset. It's a failure mindset. But it's like, I'm never content. Like, unless if it's 0-0. Like, I've watched so many Browns games, but unless if the game is over, if it isn't over, like they could have like the huge interception, but if the dude doesn't run it back, it's not over.
Yeah.
Like, going back to digress to the Pittsburgh game, the same thing happened. Like, Joe Sherbert had that interception, and then there it was, but he didn't run it in, and then our guy Zane Gonzalez came up and it got blocked, and they tied. But this week there was a lot of missed field goals this week, like this
Yeah.
particular week. But
It was definitely a bad week for kickers for sure.
yeah, Zane, I'm glad he's gone. I flipped out a little
And
bit.
Hugh is gonna lose it. I look at him on the sidelines, man. He looks like Fonzie in the Waterboy. Like
Dude, it's really hard. It is though.
What
like
can I do?
any pity ever. Like, being a Browns fan is it's a really hard thing because I'll never accept like losing, like especially as a fan. So you go into every game like if you were to go into a fight, like you're going to win this, and the Browns do not win traditionally, and they haven't.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Obviously,
I thought they were going to win at least 8 games this year. And these first 2 weeks were definitely games I didn't think they were going to win.
and they should have. But what
Exactly. So you can go by all right, take that game as something you learn here, but they're shitty learning lessons. Just like the Bears blowing a 20-point lead. You know what I mean? They're like, well, they'll learn from this. It's like, yeah, but that was the one game they wanted to fucking win the whole year. So I think the chip on their shoulder is going to be beyond what it was, you know what I mean, the past 2 years. And I can definitely tell you that there's going to be some people's jobs on the line here. Now, one thing we haven't really mentioned, Josh Gordon got cut, or actually traded. Supposed to get released and then got traded to the Patriots for what, a 5th rounder or somewhere like that.
yeah, fifth rounder.
5th round pick, and then if he doesn't play 10 games, Cleveland has to send a 7th round pick.
It's a total gamble. Right quick, the comparisons to him and Randy Moss, as far as the athletic ability, it's there, but
Dude, sorry to interrupt, but I
Go
hope
ahead.
someone breaks into that fucking
Yeah, me
car
too.
here soon because that
But,
thing's been going on forever.
it's a different. There's a huge difference. Randy was already established. He had those 2 bad years in Oakland.
They both love weed.
Yeah, but no, they did, but he wasn't suspended. Like, I think Josh Gordon only has 20 catches since 2014. So
Oh, he definitely needs to prove himself for sure.
yeah, but the Browns have held his hand as an organization between 2 different GMs, 2 different head coaches, okay, since he's been messing up. Belichick and the Patriots aren't going to put up with that.
Yeah, I thought it was a rather strange move. Quite
It's
honestly.
it's a gamble. It's a crapshoot. And
But they
he
don't
has
got
the-
nothing there.
But he has the talent because how many receivers have they already gone through New England
Oh yeah.
this year?
Well, they got
25.
About 25, correct? So I'm just saying, like, he's the guy to take the gamble on, but no one's going to hold his hand like the Browns organization has, like I said, between two different GMs and two different head coaches.
Are you surprised to see them go after Gordon as opposed to Des Bryant?
No. I called the Gordon thing to all my friends. I always thought it was a perfect matchup in the sense of a Randy Moss, Tom Brady
Definitely
relationship.
type player for sure.
But Gordon's got problems, and no one is going to hold his hand in New England. They're gonna like what they'll do is they'll have their certain plays designed for him to be his best, and that's it. Study the playbook, dude. Go out there when you can and then perform. But the big problem is show up. Like
Yeah.
literally, like show up to practice on time, show up to the study time, and he didn't. That's why the Browns, like, they gave him so many chances, and this last time he showed up late and I guess under the influence of something.
Damn.
And that dude is a pure talent, man. He's like a just.
No, I agree. I mean,
I loved him.
it's been unfortunate that things haven't really kicked off his way, but
He's
long
made
run,
his own
man,
choices.
millions of dollars, you got to fucking put the blunt down.
Yeah. But there's something else there with him. I mean, I watched something earlier today about that, and Chris Carter made a really, really good statement. He goes, he had problems when he was in middle school. They couldn't reach him. He had problems when he was in high school. They couldn't reach him. Same thing in college.
What was Chris Carter, his counselor?
No, but seriously, think about it. Same thing in college. And the Browns, like I said, two different GMs, two different head coaches, and they still cannot get to this guy. They can't get to him. Like, there's a problem here.
Well,
So I hope the best for him. I love Josh Gordon. I think he's a great talent, but it's a gamble. Bill Belichick and the Patriots, they're champions. They're not going to put up with that shit.
well, on the flip side of the ball there, the Saints look pretty good. I mean, Kamara's just looking like a stud. Drew Brees started off a little shitty. I shouldn't say good, but I don't want to kick shade at the Browns because the Browns are playing some
Browns
decent
defense
football.
is really, really tough.
So, on two sides of things, I think the Browns have performed above average in their perspective for the
Yeah.
first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
And I think if anything, it's just going to increase. And I think that they're gonna conform into one unit, but it may take a little bit. It may take a couple players getting cut, but
Quarterback. I'm still worried about the quarterback situation.
eventually, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you this: if Tyrod's throwing a lot more interceptions, then yeah, you make that jump quick. But you got to let him open up that team, show what he's got. And he's also got to show Mayfield how he's going to, have to control it. You throw that guy in there, it's going to be like when we threw Trubisky in there. It's going to set him back a couple of years. And I think it's
agree.
going to slow the progress of that team. Get the team going so that when he does come in, they'll be able to pick him up. You know what I mean?
Total shout out to Myles Garrett, though.
That guy's a
He is
beast,
a
man.
beast. He's got long arms. He's a tremendous athlete, and he is a threat. He is a problem. Whenever you're playing the Browns defense with Greg Williams as the defensive coordinator, he takes chances and he has athletes now, and he has the right people in the right place for his defense. So if you're going to gamble or you're going to play, fantasy football,
Right.
that Browns defense, they're gonna perform.
Yeah. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
But seriously, think about it. Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees, they held him to what? A couple touchdowns? Those guys aren't bad, aren't they?
No.
They're
Yeah,
pretty good
No,
quarterbacks.
they're
Hall of
definitely,
Famers.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. That
Top
defense
10 in the league.
ain't anything to play with. And then Ward, that cornerback that they picked up.
Yeah, he's shown that he's starting to
stud.
show his worth for that number 4 pick because there's a lot of guys out there they could have gotten. I mean,
Chubb.
specifically, but hey, teach
I'm
his own, man.
optimistic. They're going to beat the Jets this week. I wonder what the spread is on that.
And they got a young, good secondary. I could see something happen.
Peppers
further
is a
down the line.
stud.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
I fell asleep. Were you guys talking about the Browns?
Michael might get punched.
you guys could turn your radios back on. Right now. Dolphins. Well, as I see you sitting there taunting us in your Dolphins
The Squids.
T-shirt,
A team of felons.
Well, let's not get too excited here. They beat Sam Darnold, who was only his second start
yeah.
in the NFL, and then they knocked out Mariota, and Blaine Gabbert was the starting quarterback for that game. So while it's great that they're 2-0 and you do have to beat everybody that's in front of you no matter who's the quarterback and who's
Humble
playing,
Brad.
it's not like they went out there and beat, the Patriots or the Steelers or even, hell, the Chiefs at this point, who, just like Darnold only has a couple, Mahomes only has a few starts in his career, and he's 2-0. But at the same time, like I said, you gotta beat the teams in front of you, and they're 2-0, and Kenyon Drake looks pretty good. Frank Gore just passed Curtis Martin to become the fourth
Oh, wow.
leading rusher,
Really?
behind only Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and Walter Payton. So
That's an impressive statistic for sure.
to be behind those three guys and
Yeah.
no one else is, it just shows you how good he's been for a long time.
You gonna buy a Gore jersey?
No. I already got my big expense for my Dolphin stuff, a Cam Wake jersey, and he's getting up there in the years and age. So I hate when you get a player and they leave the team
Yeah.
via whatever method. But
That's
yeah,
what
if
we
he
do in
retires,
Cleveland, we just keep
Well, yeah.
recycling jerseys.
if you're a Cleveland Brown fan, you can't even buy a jersey
I know.
because
You just buy the stickers that they just put over 'em.
I
because
still have my Brady Quinn one. And I
how
roll with
many
that.
how many of their draft picks of the past, besides this past year, do they still have? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Bad. I'm
but
sorry. Yeah, I cut in, but yeah, go ahead. Cameron Wake is old, but go ahead and you have his
Anyway,
jersey.
All this
one-
brown stock.
The one thing I do like about Miami is in 2016 when Tannehill was healthy, Gase really got the best out of him. And so far he's looked pretty good. He's, of course, made a couple of bad throws like most people in the NFL at this point, but he's doing a lot of good things. He's a good run-pass option guy. He's an athlete. He was a receiver in college. So I think he's going to be pretty good, and that means guys like Stills and Albert Wilson and then even Kenyon Drake and Frank Gore should also be pretty good players.
Yeah, Drake out-touched Gore, which is going to be interesting to see how they progress week in, week out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 2-1 in as far as carries go there. Like Drake, by the end of the year, he'll have 66% of the carries.
Who do they play this week? Miami?
They got Oakland coming to Miami, so it's a long flight for Oakland. They're not very good.
Afternoon game?
It's nooner.
Okay. Right on.
But the Jets kind of surprised everyone. They came out pretty hot, blazing guns in Detroit. And, like I said, that's something where I'm not going to take it away from the Dolphins for one, because when I first looked at the AFC East, I'm like, oh, man.
It's a battle for second.
Yeah.
New England will
But
be.
I really think New England has to, tilt the board a little bit more for me to think that. Because I feel like these other teams are starting to think, hey, you know what? We got a shot at that title. I mean, Brady's had it with the past. Well, I know he lost 1 year. They tied, right? Or not tied.
Yeah, it was the year Brady tore his ACL.
Yeah.
The Dolphins won the division, but every year other than that, which 2007, the Patriots have won that division for, 12, 13 years.
Ridiculous. But I think this could be a year that could separate that. I mean,
Why are you on this Jets bandwagon?
I'm not on the Jets bandwagon, but I'm just saying they played pretty solid, and they
I mean,
beat the shit out of Detroit,
did they?
who, in week one, was playing at home and were a possible 10-win playoff team this year. So it's not a Jets bandwagon. It's more or less just showing, hey, this team has shown that they have a handful of decent players and players who have stepped up a lot. And
Okay.
this could be something special. They quit buying them high-priced cornerbacks and, got rid of a lot of guys. And I think that's going to be part of their whole turning the next page and moving on. But don't be worried. I know you're worried about the Browns. I know you're worried.
We'll beat
It's all
their
right.
ass, man.
Hey,
right.
Thursday night, Jets at Browns. So you're
Darnold's
hyping
got
up the Jets.
Darnold's got a lot to prove too. I'm not sold on him, but I think the other team's playing really good. One player on their defense that I really like that was prospected to go to Chicago before the whole Trubisky thing was Jamal Adams. That guy can lay some fucking wood, and I think give it time, man. Just going to show their strength.
I'm worried about the Browns' offensive line. They were projected to be within the top 5 before the season started, but I don't see that on the field. And not only that, I just hope that Some more pressure. Just more pressure, more safety pressure with Peppers.
That's just for the Browns talk.
Yeah, let's get to some of the good games on Sunday here.
Yeah. So Houston and the Titans was kind of a little bit of a shocker there. They fell short 17-20. I think Houston's going to have to pick it up here. Everyone's thinking they're going to take that division, and they're slowly trending downward. Eagles lost to Tampa Bay. The Bucks. Fitzpatrick. Dude's looking good, man.
Yeah, yes.
Dude's looking good. Presser is pretty phenomenal too.
He is a guy right now that just is completely confident. He's not going to worry about what happens when Winston comes back. He's just going to go out there, do his thing. And the good thing for fantasy owners is Fitzpatrick is a guy that likes the receiver, where Winston keys in a little bit more on the tight end. So Evans, Djax, and Godwin, they're all good plays with Fitzpatrick under center. So right now, I don't see
Even
any
OJ.
reason. Well, yeah, but I'm saying the receivers are better with Fitzpatrick than Winston. When Winston comes back, you got to figure Brait and OJ Howard will be better, but then the receivers will take a step back because Winston loves his tight ends. And at that point, too, I don't know if Djax stays the guy. I think Djax takes this back seat. So if you're a Djax owner, you want Fitzpatrick to stay as the starting quarterback. And I think he will. I think he's done enough here. Hell, I mean, nobody expected them to be 2-0. I mean, probably most people had them 0-2 against the Saints and the Eagles, two playoff teams, including the Super Bowl champions. So a big surprise here. And you know what? I hope they keep rolling here. They got, I believe, the Steelers coming to town this week, Monday Night Football.
Especially with not having a prominent running back there. To be able to just pass the ball like they have, and it's definitely some big ups, and their defense has stepped up tenfold. I realized why Michael left. He saw the Colts coming up on here, so
Was he a Colts fan?
Oh yeah, he's a fun boy.
How they got the win?
They
Colts
did.
fans and Cubs fans, they have something in common. They both suck. Just calling it like I
Just
see it.
saying.
Just saying.
But yeah, the Colts pulled a bit of a shocker. I didn't think they were going to take the Skins, honestly. But on one side of things, it's shown Andrew Luck is coming back. He's shown he's a lot healthier.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw that segment. My brother-in-law showed me this thing on that Twitter handle about. They said that Colonel Luck. They said that he looks like a colonel for him, and they had to do it's hilarious, man. But they ended up bringing it on Sports Center, and it was some pretty good shit. But
I saw a thing. He's promoting talk to a shrink on online. Like he's wearing all these slim suits. It was on Instagram. I had a couple bad years, blah blah blah. But mental health is important, which it is. But it was just a funny thing. I guess you can just call a number and talk to a shrink online, and it's him sitting in the city of Indianapolis, with a skinny suit. And really wasn't buying it.
I'm too fat for those skinny suits.
I'm
definitely too
just
fat for
shitting on
those.
Andrew Luck, just a shit on him. But no, he's a good quarterback.
He's a bookworm. But guy in Washington who's didn't have as good a game as I thought was Chris Thompson. He came in, even AP, they both kind of slowed down. I think that was kind of their offense getting together, given the environment. But having Andrew Luck come back in there, and Colts running back looks pretty decent too. Looks like he's got someone he can kind of rely on for the time being, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Next game, good high-scoring game. Chiefs defeating the Steelers. Look at the Chiefs, man. I wouldn't have put it past Mahomes, but I just thought he was going to take a couple games to get into the groove, but the dude's just killing it.
And again, we've talked about this earlier in the year already, is Andy Reid knows how to call an offensive game plan, and they know what their strengths are. They know Tyreek Hill. They know they got Kelsey. They got these great weapons. They got Watkins going really well. Watkins, I watched some highlights from that game. Watkins looked pretty good when he got the ball, so I expect him to be more involved. Tyreek Hill only has 14 targets on the season now. He does a ton with those targets.
Yeah.
But he's spreading the ball, especially this week. He spread the ball around really, really well. And the big thing, though, is, Kareem Hunt did have the receiving touchdown, but it's just not doing much more. and you spent a first-round pick probably to get him. And right now, you got to be a little concerned that the defense is just so bad in Kansas City that they're always going to be in these shootouts, which may eventually kind of limit what Hunt can do in the running game.
No, you're definitely right, and I think that he's definitely seen a decrease in his production there, and hopefully they get into a little bit tighter of a grudge match to where they can elicit his run skills, and hopefully he'll be able to get all them owners the points there we're looking for. But Steelers dealing with a couple issues on one hand. James Conner looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
Which throws into question what they're going to do with the whole Le'Veon situation.
Right.
And Juju stepped up
Yeah,
pretty damn good also.
I feel like Bell's they're going to say, you know what, sit out then. We're fine without you. If they continue to lose, it might be a different scenario then. They might be like, well, maybe he is a difference maker. But right now, Connor's doing good enough. They should have won. They had the opportunity to win in Cleveland. They turned the ball over 6 times, and that's a big problem, including Connor's fumble, which was huge. And then they were in this game. They only lost by 5. And if it wasn't for I believe it was a roughing the punter penalty on the punt to give Kansas City the first down to run out the clock, maybe they would have had a shot. But yeah, this is a team that right now just you got to keep going. Especially, the big thing is Antonio Brown decided not to show up to practice today, to team meetings and watch video and all that. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see what's going on there. Like, is he upset now, or maybe it's solidarity by the players saying? I doubt Brown will be like, "Hey, I'm sitting out until Bell gets paid," but who knows? Or maybe he's just kind of upset that they're 0-1-1 and they don't have a win yet, and I don't know, but
yeah, it's an interesting team there. A lot of reports are that Tomlin's losing the locker room, which I like the guy. I think he's a great coach. He's shown it just through his career there, the 12 or 13 seasons he's been there. But with the guys he's got, it's hard to believe, what Antonio Brown's doing. You know what I mean? It's like you're supposed to be the leader on that team, acting a bit childish, and a lot of people say that's his demeanor, and that's what people don't like about him. But I guess when you're cocky and you're the best wide receiver in the league, you can kind of be the bitch that you are.
I have an opinion about the Steelers. I think it's just time to pass the torch, so to speak.
Let me guess, to the Browns.
Yeah, or whoever, it could be the Browns. But the Browns should have beat them, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But don't underestimate that particular team. But Ben's getting old. Antonio,
I agree.
Go ahead.
When Ben, he's approaching his end of his career. When he leaves, man, they haven't been planning for that backup plan like all these other teams have been. You know what I mean?
Well, they got 2 guys they spent draft picks the last 2 years, Josh Dobbs and Mason Rudolph, who might be the guy. It's not like they've completely, neglected it like the Saints have done in the past few years.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Saints went out and got Bridgewater, but there is a guy there that they're going to give a shot to at least. It's not a first-round pick or a second-round pick like, obviously the Patriots did with Garoppolo, but it's an option, and I think that is going to be coming pretty soon here. And I think if they continue to struggle, like I was saying, and they keep losing games, maybe they take a look to the future earlier at the end of this year. So,
same with Flacco too in the AFC North. Like it's time to pass the torch, and not to take anything away from the Steelers. And with Tomlin though, like he fell into a situation that was, the bed was made. It would be really hard for him to fail. Seriously, like not to take anything away.
You're totally right. But
Ben Roethlisberger is
that was 1 year
Hall of Famer.
He's kept that going for a consistent.
Yeah, but now he's losing. Now he's showing, like he doesn't have control of the locker room, and the veterans that he has in place, in my opinion, they obviously don't as well. Why should Le'Veon Bell be any of a distraction when that dude that filled his shoes, week 1 against the Browns would put up the same numbers?
I knew you were going to say Browns again.
I know. That's how I'm saying. I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, like I said, I think they'll get some shit cleared up here.
I hope they don't.
If another loss progresses here in the next week or two, I think they're going to have to turn either pulling the money out or, like
Gonna
you
buy-
said, trying to plan for the future and figure out who's staying and who's going.
Buy some eye drops for Tomlin. He's kind of,
Hey,
I don't know what he's got.
he did have that shitty ass play trying to trip the guy, and
Oh, I forgot about that.
but we'll leave that alone.
That was shady.
We'll get off the Steelers.
All right.
Cardinals,
Ugh.
they suck. David Johnson, gotta get the ball more than 14 times, and can't be too mad at him because they did play the Rams, who are pretty fucking solid. and
Yeah.
you're not gonna really do much. But bottom line is, with such a decrepit team, and Larry Johnson Fitzgerald, you know Johnson's his middle name.
No, I did not know that.
I just made it up, but it sounds good.
I like the Cardinals.
Larry Johnson. But they got nobody. That's the problem. And they're at a point where it's like, Sam Bradford, you need to get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
And
it's just got to skip Glennon too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no point in wasting that
giraffe
couple
neck
games on
looking
him.
motherfucker.
Just throw Rosen in there, see what you got out of the first round pick, and see if he's the guy. It doesn't. I mean, they're bad. The one thing I did think during this week of action is, thank God the Bills and Cardinals don't play each other this year. I mean,
On a Thursday night.
you want to talk about a game just.
Hey.
I mean, the over-under for that game might be 20, and I would still take the under. I mean, those are two terrible offenses, and I mean, but again, like you said, they played the Rams. Rams are a really good team. You know, they lost their kicker in the game. He pulled his groin or whatever. He's going to be out. So what do? They just two-point conversion. Gurley's good. They have the weapons. Again, Cooks had a really nice game, 159 yards on 7 receptions, but he only had 9 targets. Kupp was up there around 6 or 7 targets, and then Woods also up around 8 targets. So, again, nobody's separating themselves as far as Goff's go-to guy. But, again, Cooks is the big play guy, so he can take the roof off the defense, and he'll get you the yardage and potential 40-yard touchdowns.
I still want to see a little bit more from Cooks, though. I expect more. I think he's a player who's come in with so much hype from New England, previously at the Saints, and he really didn't take that next leap forward. And I'm expecting to see it here because they got a great surrounding there.
I like the Rams. I like what they're doing in L.A.
Yeah, they got some good stuff
I'm
going
on
on.
that- I'm on
It's
that
still hard to
bandwagon.
believe here, too, that it's 32-year-old coach fucking calling all the plays.
Ain't
there.
it?
So it's
Right,
like,
right.
man, crazy.
It's cool.
Next game, Detroit, San Fran. As shitty as Detroit was the week before, I gave them a little bit of credit because they kind of showed like, oh, hey, we're in this game. We got a chance to kind of put some numbers up, and then second half came around and they kind of fell short and tried to make a comeback at the end, which was a little bit late. But big highlights on that game was Breda. Breda kind of took a little step forward there in the whole Alf, foot race between who's going to get more carries there. A little bit disappointed in San Francisco. I know Goodwin's been banged up, who's going to be big for their offensive production. But I really think that they got to lean a little bit more on Breda, get him more into the game, give him more touches, and let Garoppolo also. Kittle looks pretty good tight end. His size is just, people are comparing him to Gronk, but you need that type of player, and I think it's funny coming from the system that he was in New England to San Francisco, and they got similar type players. Speedster wide receiver. A couple good quality backs who are going to get you yardage and not be, dependent on one another.
Yeah, I think like you nailed it there with Breida. Again, like I said, not a lot of running backs have run for 100 yards in the first 2 weeks, and he did it here on only 11 carries, and he had 138 yards. He looks to be the guy. He's definitely separating himself from Alf, and I think going forward, it's going to be his job. On the other side of the ball, a guy who's also taking a step forward and becoming maybe the go-to guy there in Detroit is Kenny Galladay. 2 weeks in a row now, he's had really good games. Galladay! And what I like about him is I think he is the number 3 guy there. Tate and Jones are still, the starters in the slot and out wide, but Galladay's the other guy out wide. And Detroit's going to be down a lot. Their defense is so bad. And I think that's only going to bode well for Galladay. So if you got Galladay, I think all three of those guys, I think Tate, Galladay, and Jones.
Who that?
Ooh. You deserve this.
But yeah, I like Galladay.
I like Galladay too. But you know what's funny on the other side of the ball, which I still love to see, is Robbie Gould kicking field goals like a mofo.
Hey, we could take him in Cleveland.
Stacking up them fantasy points.
But that
for
guy
me.
from Miami, whoever the fuck they signed.
But I like
Excuse my
I like
language.
Parkey just to kind of jump teams. Appreciate that. Thank you,
Segway.
Sweet.
Nice
Parkey.
segue.
Parkey.
Kickers.
Parkey.
Kickers are great.
Kickers, man.
Kickers. What's up with that?
Kickers,
is it
bro.
is it the whole like the soccer culture?
No, not at all.
Is that why there's so many shitty kickers right now in the NFL? In the last 20 years?
There's not. They're just all in Cleveland.
Yeah,
I might punch this man in his face.
they're wearing the quarterback jerseys.
Or Minnesota, I guess, also.
Yeah.
I might still karate chop you in the neck.
But the Niners, I will say this, getting 1-1, that was a big win for them. And obviously for the NFC North, Detroit, a sinking ship, let's just say that. Matt Patricia's team is just not looking good. And I think in regards to losing the locker room, I think he would lose one before Tomlin does.
I don't even think about it. Yeah. It's a good point. But the Niners,
Yeah.
eh.
The Raiders, big disappointment here. I love it that the Raiders are losing because of Gruden. You know what I mean? God, I can just see that guy like, oh, we're good. We're good. I got footage on this guy. I've just been doing this for years. And he fucking sucks.
The funny thing is, I saw somewhere on Twitter today that the Raiders traded a third-round pick for Martavius Bryant, who they cut, then re-signed, and is potentially going to be suspended for the whole year. The Patriots just got Josh Gordon for a fifth-round pick. That's not the same value. Like, Josh Gordon, way better player than Martavius Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
I know Gordon's got all the issues, but so does Bryant. So, again, the rich get richer in the NFL, the Patriots got better, and I don't understand why teams are even trading with New England. Like, if another team's offering a 6th-round pick, I'm like, yep, I'll take that. I don't want your 5th, New England.
Yeah.
You guys can go suck a lemon. But as far as Oakland
Suck
and Denver,
a lemon.
Oakland, they're really bad, and I like the fact that they're kind of reeling right now, coming into Miami this week, and Denver, 2-0. Case Keenum, maybe he's that guy they've been missing, and Emmanuel Sanders is having a rejuvenated year, but at the same time, I think Demarius is hitting that age wall where he was so good because he was so fast and so big. Now he's just big. He's not as fast as he once was, and he just doesn't look the same guy. So that kind of worries me a little bit. So if you have him, try to trade him off and maybe go get Sanders, because Sanders, I think, is going to be that guy.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept there you're talking about, because I was thinking about I had Thomas in the league, and he actually didn't do too bad, I should say. And it's weird thinking that they got a quarterback there, a decent quarterback in Keenum. You know what I mean? And with Sanders, I think Sanders is a solid dude too. I mean, both of their careers kind of dropped for a couple of years, just given their fucking whole quarterback situation there. And I don't know, with a better running back there, I think Freeman and Lindsey are definitely showing a different side of a spark on the side of the ball that's going to definitely put that offense overboard. And their defense, we already know about their defense for the past couple of years, especially with the addition of Chubb. So Denver's going to be something to kind of look at here. And I mean, I think they're going to creep through that division. But, I expect them to kind of turn it up here soon. But the Raiders, man, they're in trouble, man.
KC on top or San Diego? Or not? They're LA now, my bad. Who's going to be on top at the end of the year? KC or LA?
I'm going to tell you what, that's one of the underrated, toughest divisions, I think, right now.
I'm saying KC. I put my money on KC. Just with the coaching.
I think
if KC's defense holds up,
which they
they
probably
have,
won't.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they have been as far as shootouts go.
Yeah, I don't think we should overlook Denver either. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm
they
saying. I'm
have a
saying
really
Denver looks good.
defense.
And
Yeah.
if they
Who
start
has the
clicking
best
off on
quarterback?
offense,
Well, obviously,
David Carr's the shit, man.
no.
I mean,
No?
right now Mahomes is obviously looking like the best guy,
Yeah.
but
Dependable, you got to go
for
Rivers.
me,
for
yeah,
sure.
I want Rivers
Yeah,
for a full
I like that
season until I see
good call.
Mahomes
Good
Yeah.
call.
do it.
But
For a full
his
year.
numbers don't lie. Also, I mean, Mahomes has shown he's got it, and I will say this: it's probably one of the top-rated quarterback divisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely will give that to that division.
I mean, if the,
even all around, I mean, they have potential, but the Raiders just like
David Carr
ever
and
since
Phillip.
the whole Khalil Mack thing, man, you gave away the best defensive player in the league.
Hey, the Raiders
For
are
sure.
a joke. They're not even in this division
Yeah.
race. I mean, it's the other three teams
Yeah.
for sure. And I think you look at all three teams, and if the Chiefs don't have the best quarterback, let's say Mahomes kind of regresses a little bit. I mean, not terrible, but isn't what he is right now, obviously. Rivers is the best quarterback in this division. They don't have the best defense for sure in Kansas City. That's Denver.
Yeah,
The running game, obviously Melvin Gordon's the best running back in this division. And then the receivers, as far as that goes, I mean, you can make a case for either Denver or
KC.
LA or KC.
Yeah.
So they're not a definite top dog there either. The only thing they have is the top tight end.
Best-
And, I mean, they might have the best special teams too, because, again, Tyreek the Freak.
yeah.
But this is going to be a good division to watch all year because I think all three of those teams are going to be right there within a game or two with 4 or 5 weeks.
What
to play.
about defense, though? I mean, okay, I agree with both of you. Rivers is the best quarterback. That's important for that division. Who has the best defense in that division? Because that's more important than quarterback.
It's Denver.
Oh, definitely,
Hands down. They
yeah.
got one of the best. I mean, if Khalil Mack's a top 3 player, so is Von Miller as far as defensive players. And with Bradley Chubb there as the rookie guy opposite Von Miller, I think. And they still have, pretty good secondary weapons there. They obviously don't have Talib anymore, but Chris Harris is still there, so they're
TJ
still
Ward
loaded.
still there?
I do not
Safety?
believe he is.
No? Okay.
I don't know, though.
Random, but
No, he.
strong safety.
No, I'm trying to think who he
I
went.
feel like they would have released him because he had a big cap number.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay,
He was
right
a
on,
cap
right on.
casualty.
So they have the best defense in that division, in both of your opinion? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I mean, just all around,
Huh.
even with the, getting rid of some of their guys, they've still got, I don't know if you mentioned Brandon Marshall, solid linebacker. I mean, and they got good depth there too, which is huge. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree with Phillip Rivers, though.
Yeah.
I still
Anyway,
think the Chiefs will win.
speaking of really good defenses,
Yeah.
maybe the best in the league.
Jacksonville Jaguars
Yeah.
put the stomp in, which was
I'm a
a
fan.
wonderful
I'm
sight
a fan.
against the Pats because, man, they just
I'm a fan.
good to see Brady struggle, especially Gronk. Gronk can't catch anything, and Ramsey was doing all that shit talking, and it paid off, man.
I'm a
It
fan
definitely
of
paid
that.
off.
I like their defense. I like the whole thing they have set up there.
But I think the
Jacksonville.
thing that surprised me the most about that game is Bortles. Bortles was able to throw the ball around how he needed to.
He's like a Rex Grossman.
Now, Bortles is an interesting one because he's really, really good running the ball. I mean, that's his strength, and the
Dude.
passing part is just so, suspect at times. But he stepped up in the playoffs last year and down the stretch last year of the regular season, and so far he's looked pretty good. He's got his team 2-0. He beat the AFC champion New England Patriots in a revenge game. And, I mean, he threw for 377 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he stepped up in a big
The
way.
Patriots D is pretty solid, too. I mean, they're not.
Yeah. Ever since their bye week last year, they've been so much stronger. And I think that's because Bill Belichick's just got his thumb on it now. That it's not Matt Patricia, who's a terrible coach,
Yeah.
or anyone else. I mean, Belichick has his, thumbprint on this, and she's making all the calls. And I think New England's got a solid defense.
Even without
But-
Fournette. So it was good to see
And
them
Jaguars,
being able to adapt. And like I said,
they're a scary team.
Bortles keeps playing like that. That's going to be the team. That's going to be the team that I would like to see the Rams play in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I think
That would be cool.
That'd be a good Super
That'd
Bowl.
be really cool.
Defensive and offensive battle.
I like that. Yeah.
Next game, Giants two shitty teams in my opinion. I mean, it's just awful. So I'm gonna make this even quick here. I mean, it's good. It's
Dallas
good.
won by 7.
Yeah, Dallas won by 7, and if you got Barkley owners, your guy topped 100 yards again, so he's looking like he's a real deal. Zeke, not so much in my eyes, and honestly, I'm not a fan of either of these teams, and I'm not trying to be biased, but fuck Dallas and the Giants. So
Sounds kind of biased.
Monday night.
well, getting into Monday night.
Yeah.
Had the honor of going to the game last night. It was pretty awesome, man. The environment was just nuts, man. Urlacher had got his Ring of Honor, which was really weird because I heard they did not show it on TV. But it was funny as hell because
That's odd.
as Urlacher's talking, the punters and the kickers already came out of the locker room, and they're just kicking behind him. And you could see him kind of looking like, what the fuck's going on? And then right when they got everyone off the field and the small stage he was set up on, they literally kicked right off right behind it. It was like, oh, that's kind of hey, get the fuck off the stage, get out of here.
Yeah.
Here's your Hall of Fame ring. But bottom line is, let's get back to the real deal. Is the Bears won 24-17, which was good on the defense side of the ball for Chicago. But Mitch Trubisky, I'm still trying to figure out the style of offense that you and Matt Nagy are coming up with here, because it's like it gets the job done, but there's too many flaws that can totally just, the score can flip in an instant. And if it wasn't for Prince and Mukamura to come up with that pick six, honestly, that game could have gone either way.
Yeah. Trubisky, to me, feels like a poor man's Blake Bortles. He can run. He can pick up first downs and big plays with his feet. And he can make some throws, but not all of them, not when he needs to. He just doesn't trust himself either.
Yeah.
He's so cautious, and you can't be that in this offense. I think he's got to try to air it out, and unfortunately for the Bears, I don't think he's the answer. I mean, obviously it's still early.
I'll tell you this.
He can turn it around, but he just doesn't look good in my opinion.
When we left the stadium, I mean, everyone was happy. The Bears got the W, but you could tell the frustrations in the crowd, too. I mean, more people were just pissed off thinking about Watson and Mahomes. Fuck, man. This is what we got here. This guy threw 2 stupid picks. He's staring down his wide receivers. Yeah, I mean, it's
in the end zone.
Just buck up and shut up, and hopefully the Bears D that's always taken us to where we needed to go, or you just hope this kid turns it around. I mean, I just want to see some more shots downfield. That's all. And I know that not playing any preseason games is partially why, they're kind of going through their growing pains right now.
Don't you bring in Robinson to take those shots? I mean, he had 14 targets and caught 10 of them.
Yeah, but even the shots that he threw deeper, he overthrew
83 yards
guys.
for him. So if you're going to his Robinson's depth of targets needs to be deeper. They need to throw deeper to him. I mean, again, this all comes, if he's overthrowing guys, it just means he's not a good quarterback.
No.
And
I mean, a screen pass to Jordan Howard, you throw 3 feet over his fucking head.
That was a terrible. And
you got Taylor Gabriel right open down the middle. And I know he's 5'8", but you should think about that. This guy's short. I got to keep this kind of, especially when you're going not through any linebackers, not over any. You know what I mean? It's bad play on anyone's stance, but
just give him a chance. Give him a chance, man.
Hey, we have, and he's gonna get his chance. Not like I got any say in it, but bottom line is, I hope he's fucking got something else, because he needs to fucking quit being tappy-toed in the fucking pocket and just set himself, throw it. And I think what he really needs is he really needs to get fucking laid the fuck out. And it's fucked up. You're like, why would you want your quarterback to? Because he's got to understand how it feels. I think he's just scared to get really laid out by somebody. And then once he does that, it's going to be like, all right, this is going to make me a little more conscious in this pocket. I'm going to get rid of the ball quicker. I see that first open guy, 8 yards, even though I want to throw a bomb down the field, I'm going to make that pass. But the other thing is, he's having problems with is the guys don't even make the full route, and he throws it behind the guy. So they got to fall down to catch it and grab it. So they're only getting there 8 yards. They're 5 yards.
That's shitty quarterback.
And it's you got to lead the receiver, and you got to put them into a direction where they're going to be able to turn and get them yards after catch. And I'm not gonna lie, as a Bears fan, like I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about the fucking defense, man. I love watching the defense, and I've always liked to watch it because I feel like that's what the Bears were always playing growing up. You know, I was like they're always getting their ass kicked. It's like, all right, let's go defense. But
Quarterback wins games.
He does, and
Gotta have a good quarterback.
man, I'm a little bit nervous. But I think this week we got Arizona coming up, which is cool because it's one of our very seldom 3:00 games that we play in. So
Yeah, it is a late game.
yeah,
That's cool.
It'd be cool to hang out. But yeah, like I said, man, good we got the W, kind of semi-rebound from last week. But as far as you thinking Mitch Trubisky was going to put the Packers game behind him and move forward, that didn't happen.
Just a little shout out too, real quick, to Brian Urlacher. I remember when he played the Cardinals. What was that? The NFC Championship, and he single-handedly like took over the game, and he sent them to the Super Bowl. Remember that game?
Oh, that wasn't the Cardinals. That was
Well, remember it was like that
it was
year.
no,
though.
it was
That was
it was
the-
a pivotal game.
that was
it
the
was
Monday-
a Monday night
it was
game.
Monday
Monday
night
night
game,
game.
very pivotal. And what I'm getting at is Mac reminded me of that with that first game against the Packers.
Yeah.
And I said this to my dad today, and he's a huge Bears fan.
The Bears are what we thought they were.
At any
We
rate,
thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in a preseason?
oh, that's that game.
There you go.
But Mac is a better athlete and a better
Crown their
linebacker
ass, motherfucker.
than Brian Urlacher, by far. He took over that first half. He couldn't do it the second half. But I haven't seen like a linebacker take over a game like that compared to Brian Urlacher in that game. The Bears, who we thought they were.
You know what's really cool about that opening game is, they always get the defensive players.
But they lost.
Well, the defensive players get called out, you know what I mean? You know the last Bear to get called out of that tunnel was?
Khalil Mack.
And the place fucking erupted, man. And for you to come into an environment, I think it helps him and the Bears, together because
It's a
they
bigger
pretty much
city
told
than
him-
Oakland. I'll just
They
say
pretty
that.
much told him,
Yeah.
hey, you're our future, man. Like, you get all these guys riled up. And he is, man. I mean, he was mic'd up and just
That
seeing him
dude-
out there, man, he's a fucking animal.
He's a beast.
He's a fucking animal.
He's a better athlete than Brian Urlacher. Hard to say if he's a better linebacker than Brian Urlacher, but we'll see. He's a game changer. If you can change a game like that, that's
He's got all his hair, bro. He's got all his hair. In his career.
he has a nice hairline.
Well, that wraps up week 2 scores here. We're going to do a couple quick who you gots and then head into actually, you know what? Let's dabble with a little bit of an injury report, Brad. What we rack up last week. I know we had a couple people bruised up, which may be somewhere you need to get on your waiver wire here.
Yeah, the
Waiver wire.
The big one here, Joe Mixon, one of those guys we talked about, is a do-it-all back. One of the rare ones in the NFL right now. He gets the majority of his team's touches. He's going to be out for a little while. He had arthroscopic knee surgery. He's going to miss 2 to 3 weeks. They did play Thursday. He had the surgery, I believe, on Saturday. So he might only miss 1 game. He might miss 2. At most, he'll miss 3. But this is a good opportunity for Gio Bernard to maybe step up and, at least get back into the picture as a situational guy, as a pass catcher and all that. LaShawn McCoy we touched on. He's got some injured ribs. He's day-to-day. He may play, he may not play, but again, against Minnesota, not a good play anyway. So I wouldn't go out and get Chris Ivory either as his backup. Another big one, Jay Ajayi left the game with a back injury against Tampa. He's doubtful to play this week. I know they called up a guy from their practice squad. They signed him to their active roster. So that doesn't bode well for Ajayi playing this week. So that means Corey Clement should be pretty good, especially if Darren Sproles going to be out a little bit longer as well. The last big one, I thought Larry Fitzgerald was an interesting one because he kind of tweaked his hamstring, pulled it, and he is also likely going to be out. He's doubtful for week 3. So I don't know who the Cardinals have.
I guess you can't give the ball to David Johnson 20 times because
if you're the Bears, you just key on David Johnson and hope Kirk, Christian Kirk doesn't beat you, or Ricky Seals-Jones. They don't have a good option outside of David Johnson. So probably another bad week for David Johnson coming up.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that. And unfortunate, first time I get him this year, he shits the bed. So really can't do nothing about that. That's all on me. That's all on me.
And then Tariq Cohen did injure his ankle towards the end of that game. So that's another guy you got to keep an eye on. This could potentially really boost Jordan Howard's value, who Matt Nagy said they need to get more touches anyway. So good news for Jordan Howard owners.
Yeah, if they give him the ball. You know what I mean? Same thing like last night. A team that's got so many defensive players that are out. KJ Wright. That's a little highlight from the Serbian Adventures.
He hates everything.
But no, I just hope that Jordan Howard could kind of do a little bit more something for them owners, because it's really not looking too smooth over there in Chicago. He was running the ball good, but if they're not going to give him the carries, then Mitch has got to do something. I'd rather have Howard running the ball full steam ahead than Trubisky.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, but well, after the injury recap, got a couple who you gots here. Quarterback first off, Brad. I don't know if you're ready. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So we got a couple tough matchups here. You got Deshaun Watson going in versus the Giants, who have been pretty solid, to say at least in the secondary. Or are you going to go with a Andrew Luck in Philadelphia?
That's tough, because I think Luck, I would feel more comfortable with Luck. I think Luck is a guy that could put up a good, solid floor for you. But Watson's ceiling could be so much higher because he's so dynamic of a player. The problem I have with Watson is he makes a lot of dumb decisions, a lot of dumb throws, and they result in turnovers. Or he doesn't throw the ball, get rid of it in time, and he gets sacked, fumbles, another turnover. That's even when he was going good last year, he turned it over quite a bit, and that's a cause for concern for me. And I think New York, coming off that Sunday night loss, they're now 0-2. I mean, both of these teams, Houston and New York, 0-2. But I think New York's going to have a little bit of extra motivation.
Get you a Jets t-shirt. All right. Both of you guys. I'll give you some Jets shit if they win.
I think the Giants will
I'll
have
take
a
a Namath.
little extra
Nah.
motivation going into this
No
game.
Joe Namath.
And I think Philly just right now can't really figure it out defensively. So I think Luck should have a good game. And Carson Wentz will be back. He was announced the starter this week. So maybe this turns into an offensive explosion between Indy and Philly. So I'll take Luck in that one. But I don't feel great about either. But yeah, Luck's my answer there.
Okay. I think it's solid play.
My QB for you here, beginning of the year, this would have been a no-brainer, but I got Drew Brees at the Falcons or Patrick Mahomes hosting the Niners.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been a no-brainer early out the get-go. But, man, I got to go with Mahomes. San Francisco's defense is just not what they really haven't been shit since Fangio left, honestly. And everyone on their defense and linebackers started beating women up. But bottom line
Is that like a trend? Like, hey, guess what, guys? Get together, beat your wives up.
Must be in San Francisco. I figured that was the opposite, but
Or Cincinnati. I could see that going down on the Bengals. Yeah.
that does happen, but it's just not spoken about because it's so popular in the city.
It happens in New England, too. But
Does
it's
it?
at Bill Belichick's house, and he keeps it really tight under wraps, so nobody ever finds out about it.
He just beat your wife.
You just bring Bill in to beat your wife.
When you do
Bill,
something
come in here,
stupid,
smack my wife around.
When you fumble a ball or drop a catch or do something bad, you have to bring your wife to Bill Belichick's house, and that's your punishment for the week. Or if you really respect your wife, you just go into his doghouse, and that's really not a place you want to be.
Yeah.
Never. Josh Gordon's already there.
But yeah, I think that's a Mahomes there, brother. He's I like Breeze. I still gonna stand by him doing what I said he was gonna do this year. Break out and get that MVP. But Mahomes, man, no stopping the kid now. So
Breeze MVP?
it's my preseason. Yeah,
Wow.
better than Tyrod Taylor.
Hey. Right on. We just had to miss like a couple extra points and 3 field goals to not lose to Drew Brees, but it's all good. I feel you.
Yeah, if you would have beat him, then maybe my decision would have changed. But
Right.
I can't predict the future, brother. I definitely cannot. It was at home too. I'll give you that. I'll give you
No,
that.
it wasn't. It was at your home.
That's what I'm saying. Breeze is home.
Right.
Hey brother, I ain't from Nowlands. I ain't from Nowlands. All right, now here's a decent one. Dalvin Cook going against Buffalo, weak defense, with his questionable tag, okay? Or David Johnson coming into Chicago.
So he has to play one of those. Who's his other running back?
I apologize. He's not coming into Chicago. He's going to be
Yeah.
running for negative yards
So
in Arizona.
if those are his 2 questionable guys who to play here, it makes me wonder who he has as his definite starter, because I mean those are 2 pretty solid. I mean, first and second round pick. Do you have another guy there who he's definitely starting?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a scumbag pickup of Connor. So
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you're going to play Connor. Exactly what we just talked about earlier with Larry Fitzgerald being out and David Johnson basically being the only weapon there. I can't. I mean, I guess in this scenario, you got to bench David Johnson until you see something. I know Dalvin Cook really hasn't been, too special. He had a good receiving game in week 1. But, man, the Bills are just so bad. And if it really is cramps, like they said, and maybe by Friday he's not even on the depth chart, not on the injury report. Let's say he has a full participation in practice and he's good to go. He's definitely the guy you play here. I mean, Khalil Mack is going to just be all over Sam Bradford all game long. He'll probably be, taking handoffs instead of David Johnson. So I think this is the time you sit David Johnson down and just go with Dalvin Cook.
yeah.
All right, I got a whole bunch of running backs here. I need 2 of them. I need Alfred Morris at the Chiefs, Marlon Mack at the Eagles, Gio Bernard at the Panthers, Rex Burkhead at the Lions, or Lamar Miller taking on the Giants.
Is this a one-man league?
No. None of those guys are anything special.
That's what he's got.
I wouldn't want any of those guys.
He's throwing the waiver play. How many do you need?
2.
2. Fuck, I gotta write this list down.
All right.
All right, we'll start with 1. I'm gonna start Bernard for sure.
Okay.
Bernard's gonna be a guy that I feel like Carolina's defense is not bad, nothing to stand out. You know what I mean? But the fact that he's gonna get the carries, and I think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder because Mixon came in and was just like, Jeremy Hill, fuck you, go to New England, tear your ACL. Gio Bernard, why don't you go get my helmet, take this shit in the locker room for me. So I think he's kind of trying to get back in the good side of things over there. So he's going to be my number 1 now. I know you said Burkhead, correct.
Burkhead.
You said Lamar, right?
Lamar Miller.
I'm gonna stop there and go with Lamar Miller because I think, granted, the Giants got a pretty solid defensive front. I think Lamar Miller is played pretty well with Watson. Watson creates opportunity for him that a lot of them other quarterbacks just plain out couldn't. And I think that he's having that good year coming out in the first 2 weeks, which, God knows once Deontay Foreman gets healthy and kind of gets out there, he may have something that he can progress in there. But I think Lamar Miller is just the guy that you can depend on there. And with the threat of Hopkins out there, he's going to have some vulnerability on that defensive side of the ball. So, all righty. Last one, we got wide receivers. Now, keep in mind, I know some of these guys suck, but it is what it is. We go with your boy, Galladay, versus New England. Your real homeboy, Kenny Stills, versus struggling Oakland. Or Quincy Inua against the awful Cleveland Browns. That was a straight shot, Joe.
It is a shot. Pop, pop, pop. I already said this earlier. The Cleveland Browns defense is nothing to sleep on.
So
Go ask your MVP Drew Brees.
You just need to pick one of them.
Just
or
one. Well,
Ben Roethlisberger.
right away, I'll drop Anunwa off the list here. I know he's Sam Darnold's number one guy right now. He's the guy he looks to. He's a safety guy, but I just don't like playing any questionable guys on Thursday night, especially on the road. Like if it was a situation where AJ Green last week, you gotta play him, but you're not gonna start a guy like that on Thursday night because those games are always so terrible, and especially going on the road. And yeah, Cleveland does have a pretty decent secondary, so I'll stay away from that. Stills is such a tough call because the numbers, his opportunity is not great. He doesn't get a ton of targets. He does good when he gets the targets, but you're basically hoping he gets a big touchdown, and that's a risk that I don't want to take. So it's Galladay all day for me because I think, again, like I said earlier, Detroit's going to be down a lot, and I figure they'll be down pretty early in this game against New England, and it's going to be just, throw the ball 40, 50 times for Stafford, and, Tate and Jones only can take so many of the targets. So I figure Galladay is going to get you probably 10 to 15 targets, and if he catches half of them, he's in for a good day. So Galladay.
Respectable. And I do agree with you in regards to that Cleveland comment. Word up to Cleveland.
What's up?
Word up to Cleveland. They do got a good secondary. I like Peppers and I like Ward, and I think that they got a couple other guys on that side of the ball.
Well, their defensive line and their linebacking core is amazing. But like I said, go ask how many times they sack Ben Roethlisberger. How many times they sack your boy Drew Brees, MVP.
Hey, it's funny? I love
Seriously though, seriously.
No, well, seriously,
I think that's like double digits.
I love how you call
Not enough to win either game.
Right.
I love
That's cool.
I love how you say a team's amazing, but they're 0-1-1.
Right on. No,
Like
no,
an
that's-
amazing
that's cool.
team would be like
The Browns
yeah, man,
find
they're,
a way
they're
to lose.
2-0.
But what I'm saying for
No
all
one scored
for
yet.
all the fantasy listeners, don't sleep on the Browns.
There's no listeners, man. It's just me and Brad and Stratton.
No, there's listeners. There's listeners. Don't sleep on the Cleveland Browns defense, man.
Hey, bro, I told you, man. Cleveland's gonna have a decent year.
They're a wreck. They're a wreck.
Cleveland fan.
Not offense, but their defense is a wreck. They're good, meaning that they're good. They just faced two Hall of Famers, and they shoulda, woulda, coulda won, but they didn't. They tied and they lost because a dude missed 5 fucking field goals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no disrespect. But yeah, who's the Jets quarterback?
Hey,
Who is it?
no disrespect. No disrespect.
No, who's the Jets quarterback? What's his name?
Sam Darnold.
Nah.
I think they could.
Who's that? Who is he?
Rookie this year.
Where'd he come from? I know about
USC.
football. He's the USC dude. And then we took Mayfield. Right on.
So, bottom line is, I think that
Who has the better defense? The Browns or the Jets?
well, it's interesting because the Jets have a good front and they got some solid guys in the back. I think
But
I think their defenses are pretty similar, actually.
But did they face Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees? The Jets?
No, they faced even better.
Yeah.
Who?
Derek Carr and Ryan Tannehill. All right, we got
All right.
one more who you
No,
got
no.
to get through here.
Yeah.
I'll bet you both right here on the spot.
Okay.
I'll take the spread.
All bets happen at the end of the show, but we're going to put them out there.
We got the former Cleveland Brown, Josh Gordon, potentially playing Sunday night at Detroit, or Will Fuller taking on the Giants. Now, of course, this is only if Gordon plays. If Gordon doesn't play, I mean, it's all moot. But let's say Gordon's in there
He's a
and
gamble.
he's going to get 50% of this offensive snaps. That's your target.
Yeah, I just don't see.
He ain't that smart.
Brady's a stingy quarterback, if you haven't already noticed. And, you're not an addition to his team. He's an addition to you. You know what I mean? So, Gordon really doesn't equivalent there because he'll go to Dorsett if he has to, or he'll just stay on Gronk if he's got to, or Hogan, who finally got in the end zone here this week. But I think the bottom line is if Gordon gets in there, it's going to take a couple weeks because Brady's, he's not a Randy Moss guy where you're like, oh, we got Randy Moss. He's Josh Gordon. The guy hasn't proven shit in the past 3 years. He hasn't played in any games. Sorry, the facts just aren't there, brother.
No, I agree with you, but
Could he do something? Possibility, but
it's a gamble. He's Randy Moss on steroids, though. If it clicks, it clicks. Game over with the Patriots.
He's Randy Moss on weed.
they'll say still on weed.
Nah, dude, that dude is a thoroughbred like if like you could like pick it, like if it was like a genetic thing, what do you want your wide receiver to look like? It would look and run and catch like Josh Gordon, in my opinion.
He has 19 receptions in the last
20 years. Was it? Yeah.
And
Well, he's got to put the pipe down, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's just too big of a risk for me.
I agree.
What I was going to say earlier about him is if you have him, all the hype right now is, oh my God, he's going to New England. He's going to be awesome. Tom Brady's going to throw him the ball. Trade him. Trade him away right now and get something in return because he may not play a game for New England. I mean, he might just have some serious issues outside of football that he has to take care of.
I like that. Get rid of him and get a little value out of it.
Yeah, I mean, and if it turns out that he does play, 14 games for the Patriots, oh well, and if he becomes, a 1,000
Trust me,
yard,
I'm all about.
12
I'm
touchdown
all
guy.
about. I know you're a division foe, but I'm all about seeing Brady with just some guy he can just.
Well,
It was exciting when him and Moss
Yeah.
were together, man. It was like, this is freaking sweet, But this isn't the confident guy here. You
No.
talked about him.
Yeah, did
middle
we talk
school,
about this
high
before?
school, this,
Yeah,
that, and the
yeah.
other. I mean, I know the guy ain't there. The fact that Cleveland laid out the red carpet for him and he shit on him,
couple times.
I don't see it happening.
Shit on the red
so,
carpet twice.
So, it is what it is. But
Hope
yeah,
the best for the homie.
adios, Gordon. Now we'll kick into our final little bit of our picks this week. First off, Joe, your
Yeah.
team. I bet you someone's probably doing a count how many times you said the Browns. Hey, the Browns.
This is the Browns episode.
Hey, the Browns.
I love the Browns.
You talking about the football team? No, the family down the road. Oh, gotcha.
Or the
But now that you're
Bears.
talking about the Cleveland Browns,
The family down the
Bears.
road has just as many wins.
Cleveland, yeah.
Hey man, the last time I went to Miami, I watched the Browns beat them. Peyton Hillis, 6-3. Browns win.
6-3. Sounds like a
6-3.
Browns game.
I know it does.
And a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
All right, on,
Well,
all right on, but go ahead.
This Thursday
But
night,
we beat you, so what up?
this Thursday night, you got the Jets coming into your
In the Cleveland.
lovely city of Cleveland, and
I
you
might
may
go.
attend, right?
I may go.
You should. It's gonna be a good game, I think.
man,
Plus, especially a Thursday night game. That's always cool. If you ain't got shit going on Friday,
All
fucking-
this Browns sorrow though, like real talk. The last time I was at a Browns game, they lost like last second, typical fashion, and I watched like 73,000 people leave a stadium, and not one word was said. And it was a very eerie experience. So I told myself I'll never go to a Browns game until they win a playoff game after that, because I went to so many first, like home openers. But that was a really, just a experience. But they can win this game, and I believe they will win. I wonder what the spread is.
Who do you got?
Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Cleveland's got a better defense. They'll get after Darnold on a short week, and they will get their first win since
Like
well,
2016.
since Obama was running this country.
Wow. I tell you what. First it was your kid was born. Now it's Obama's running the country. I can't wait till next week. If I'm
If
hoping they
lose, I
win,
hope-
Yeah,
I hope they lose. so
You
I
gotta
can
come up with something
something
else.
else.
So I'm gonna tell you a quick story
Hope
before I
you get in a
make
car
my pick.
accident with that Miami Dolphins shirt on.
It's
Wow,
fucked up, bro. That's some
I'm just
hatred.
joking.
Wow.
So good story. You'll appreciate this as a Browns fan.
That was a joke.
Back in the day, my brother and my friend's family, they went to the Bears game, and Bears, I think they beat the Browns in OT. And
When, like 02?
I think this
that
was the
year?
Mike Brown era when
Yeah,
he
I remember
picked it
that
up.
day. I remember
So supposedly they're coming down, the tunnel, and this guy's talking shit, saying Cleveland Browns. They said that these guys ran, picked the guy up, threw him in the dumpster, and shut the lid on him, and go Browns chicken.
that. Here's my first.
So with that said, I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns.
Was that the Joey Galloway game?
I don't know, but
Here's my Browns experience. You know, the Ravens used to be the Browns, so my first Browns game was in Cleveland when they played the Ravens. And if you were a Ravens fan and you came in the section, everybody chanted asshole or another really un-PC term. And all the Ravens fans were so passive and AKA pussies, they would not sit in their seats, and they walked up, they walked down, and they watched the entire game on like the little TVs by like where you'd buy the hot dogs and shit. Yeah, Cleveland Browns fans don't mess around. Here's another thing too. Like in Chicago, you could always like skip.
Super classy.
Yeah, very classy. You could always like skip. You go through the outdoor to piss. In Cleveland, I tried that. I almost got beat up. Like straight up, like dudes grabbed me. Like no, get in the line.
Yeah, never go in the outdoor anywhere you are.
You're not a Bills fan. You're not a Bills fan. You ain't no Bills Mafia. Now, those are the guys who do that, what you're talking about.
Well, I just know what I've experienced.
Look up some Bills Mafia
I've
shit. You'll
watched
laugh.
that shit online, but I've experienced like actual Cleveland Browns fandom and like the dog pound. They don't play around. My good friend, shout out to Mitch Myers, is a Dolphins fan, and I took him into the dog pound on purpose, and they just kept throwing rolls of pennies at him. So, shout out.
Shout out, man.
Shout out to the Brownies.
Shout out to the Brownies. Well, I think they're going to take it. We got a unanimous one there. Next game, we got San Fran rolling into the hottest team in the league, the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you going with, Brad?
I'll stay with Kansas City, staying hot here. I'm not ready to assume Mahomes is going to start to struggle, so he'll have another 3-4 touchdown game, and Kansas City's going to go 3-0.
Respectable. Joe?
Chiefs.
Chiefs all around the board. This is going to be a simple one, so I guess we'll just make this quick. We're all going to go with the Vikings over the Bills, right? At home.
Lock of the week.
Lock of the week.
What's the spread, though?
16.5.
Musty meat curtains is the spread. Cincinnati at Carolina. If Joe Mixon was playing, it may contradict where I was going to head.
Carolina.
Yeah, I think Carolina's the better team at home.
Better quarterback.
I think they'll find a way to do it with that defense. And Cam Newton, he's due for that huge game, so I think this might be it.
He's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy.
I agree. I think Carolina's going to be the pick here. Green Bay strolling into Washington.
Washington, they just don't impress me. I thought for sure they would take care of the Colts, and they laid a stinker in their home opener. So
Did you just say stinker?
Yeah, stinker. They did not play well against the Colts.
Shoot.
And I think Rodgers another week another week from that knee injury is going to go in there, and he's going to do what Aaron Rodgers does, and Green Bay is going to come out victorious.
Did your wife tell you to say that before you came here? Like, hey, honey, I don't mind you going, but just give me a little Rodgers love there.
Yeah, of course.
I'm betting skins.
I can see that.
Skins on the spread, for sure. That's an upside game right there. It's in Washington. Right?
I hope so. I'm just a little bit discouraged on how Washington played last week, so that's what's making me go with the Packers going on their 2-game high. But
hard guy.
You know what could happen? Rodgers going down. So I'm just gonna hope for that. That'd be the win for me. New Orleans coming into the Falcons.
Tell you what, I don't think New Orleans is as good as they were last year. Their defense is taking a step back. I think the offense is just as good, but I think Atlanta is going to continue to ascend here. They took out Carolina, now another big divisional game. I think they're going to take care of business here, and they're going to get the win here. I like Atlanta.
I like Atlanta, too. Matty Ice is the guy. I watched New Orleans every snap, every play last week against the Browns. Wasn't impressed.
Every snap you take.
Falcons are going to win.
Browns.
How about you, Johnny?
I got to stick with my guy, Mr. Drew. I think the injuries that have plagued the Falcons here the past couple weeks, two pivotal players. I mean, Keanu Neal and Deion Jones. Those are guys that you know, perennial Pro Bowlers, I would say for sure. And at this point, I think Drew Brees, if there's one thing he can do, granted his speed slowed down, is pick apart a team and find their weaknesses. So if they haven't adapted yet, this could be the week that they do that. And, you know.
Who's the rookie who was throwing those touchdowns to? Number 12. It was like old Colston.
It was
Who's that dude? You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're
I
talking
watched every damn Freaking snap.
No,
Who is that guy? He's a rookie, correct?
Man.
It's all good. We're stomping. We're stomping the Trump. But that guy was a very, very good receiver.
He's got Ginn, he's got Thomas.
Michael Thomas is one of the best in the league.
Okay.
I mean,
Is that their number
Kamara
one?
as a
Yeah, it's
back
their number
can
one.
receive
Okay.
just like, I mean, like, they got it there, and I agree, Brad. I mean, their defense wasn't too good at the start of next year, so maybe they just need a little bit of a jump start.
Not
So
impressed with it.
Yeah, Michael Thomas had 2 touchdowns last
week. That's
Yeah.
that dude. All right.
He's in his 3rd year. He's a stud.
Okay. Yeah, he's a stud. Very impressed with him.
you know, one person I'm waiting to see though too is Cam Meredith to step up, former Bear. This could be that week.
He's got to be activated to do something.
It's in Atlanta though.
ATL motherfuckers. No, it's up in.
Oh, it's on NO.
No, it's in Atlanta. I'm
It's in
sorry.
Atlanta,
It's
yeah.
in Atlanta.
That dome bullshit. I hate watching games inside, but go ahead.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. I think this is a pretty clean cut. Jacksonville W.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's Mariota or Gabbert. Jacksonville's gonna
Yeah.
get after him and win this game probably easily.
I put my money on Jacksonville.
Denver at the Ravens.
I'm gonna go Denver here. We talked about that division earlier. Who's the best team? I think Denver is got that defense. Flacco, I don't like him at all. I don't think the Ravens are that good of a team. So give me Denver in this one. Case Keenum's gonna lead them to the victory.
Put my money on Joey Flacco. He's ruined a lot of my Sundays as a Browns fan. I don't know who's the quarterback for the Broncos.
Case Keenum.
I'll put my money on Joey Flacco.
I'm gonna go with the Broncos also.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw out the Broncos here. Interesting game I think this week, which is
Where's it at again?
pretty good toss up. That's gonna be in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, Joey ain't gonna lose. He don't win.
Oakland at Miami. We know
Well,
where you're going.
I've picked against Miami 2 weeks in a row. They won both those games. So until they lose, when I pick them to lose, I'm going to stay doing that route. Give me Oakland, even though they got to travel across the country. Oakland finds a way somehow to win this game. Yeah.
Joe?
I'll pick Miami. That's a long flight. I'm giving it the home cred.
I
And
agree.
I've been there, man. Like those Miami fans.
I got to separate my picks from Brad, so I got to definitely go with Miami too. And I
Go
think
on,
that
Make up some ground.
yeah, I got to make up. I'm 2 games back, so
More than that.
whatever.
3 games back.
That's a late game. I'm gonna watch that one.
Okay. Indianapolis at Philly.
Carson Wentz returns. Eagles offense returns. Eagles win.
I'll go Indy because Carson Wentz, he's all right. You know, he's all right, but I'm going with Indy.
I'm gonna go with Andy Luck also. I
Alright.
think that Philly's not healthy enough, honestly, and I think Colonel Luck's got a side piece that
He's a better
has been throwing
quarterback.
pretty well. So
He's a better quarterback.
Giants at Houston.
Well, both these teams need this victory. They don't want to go to 0-3. I'll take the home team to win this one. Give me the Texans.
I'll take the Giants. Better quarterback. Go with Eli. He never knows where he's at. He looks always confused.
Who
But
farted?
Stratton's mouth.
How dare you?
There you
It's
are.
back.
There you are.
Talk the whole time.
I'm gonna go with Houston. I think they got to win a game, and this is a must-win for them if they have any chance of trying to pull any wild card spots out. But Giants,
Eli.
it could be. I think this would be a tight game. Let's just say that. I think it's gonna be a close one.
Well, I think when all said and done for the season, I think the Giants are really going to regret, even though Barkley is a game changer, I think they're really going to regret passing on Darnold and taking Barkley there. They should have got Eli's replacement in this draft class, and instead of trying to win it this year.
I
They
disagree.
clearly do not have
I
the
disagree.
talent to win it.
I don't think Darnold's the guy there.
It's definitely not Manning.
Well, it is what it is. Maybe you got to wait a year.
Just won a Super Bowl.
Just
you
like
know?
we panicked with
That's all I'm
Trubisky.
saying.
Chargers at the Rams, which I think is going to be a good game and a good test for Los Angeles' defense.
Yeah.
Which Los Angeles? The Rams.
Battle of L.A. here.
Where's it at? It's like
The Rams
whose
are
stadium?
It's in L.A.
the Rams are the host.
Well, whose stadium is it in?
The Rams are
Where's that?
hosting this game, but I mean, doesn't really matter. I mean, they're both LA teams. And I think the Rams defense, it could get to Rivers and kind of frustrate him a little bit. And I think that's been one thing with Rivers in his career. Like when he has that pressure, especially right up front, when you have Sue and Donald attacking him, he's going to have some struggles this week. And I think they also shut down Gordon with those two guys up the middle. So I'll take the Rams to win this one because of that defense.
I got you.
Johnny, you go. I'll go last.
I got to go with the Rams. They're the super team. I think that they got all the pieces that they need. And as much as I like the Chargers and what they have, if Gordon's a little bit banged up, could it be a shootout? Possibly, but man, the Rams got some tough fucking cornerbacks, man.
I like both of these teams too. I agree.
I agree, yeah.
Third tie in a row?
Oh shit! I hope not.
That's what you were going to go with there. Like, I like both these teams. I don't want to pick a winner.
Stretton, we're gonna make Stretton just do like either splits or like a soccer kick somewhere.
Don't make me kick. I'll win.
I'll pick Phillip Rivers.
I got nothing.
I'm gonna pick the Chargers on that.
Okay. Hey, you never know, man.
And I like the Rams better, but I like Phil.
It could be an upset, man. Could be an upset.
But yeah.
Seattle Seahawks hosting the Dallas Cowboys.
A short week for Seattle here coming off Monday night, but Dak Prescott sucks. Russell Wilson's really good. I think he'll find a way to get his team the victory here and avoid 0-3. Seattle.
Seattle. That's a long voyage. When you got to go up that way when you're traveling as a team, like that makes a difference.
Slippity slide.
That's a good home field advantage for a reason.
It's going to be a fantastic voyage and a road back. I got to go with the Cowgirls on this one.
Are you?
I am.
You're going with the Cowboys?
Yeah, Seattle let the Bears beat them last week. And I ain't saying that the Cowboys are better than the Bears, but they're pretty damn awful. So I got to roll the dice. Got to catch up to Brad, bro. Got to pick some off ones.
All right.
Bears at Arizona.
Arizona is awful. Bears, like I said, Khalil Mack is going to just destroy Sam Bradford. So Bears will probably win this game by double digits unless Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky do what they've been doing and let teams stick around and beat them late. So give me the Bears, though.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny.
You know where I'm at, brother.
Don't be biased.
That's not biasm.
Picks him
Is
every
that a
week.
word?
He's got to pick him.
Biasm?
He picks him every week.
That's not biasm, bro.
Well, yeah, I'm going to pick the Cardinals.
Good. You should.
I will. The Bears haven't impressed me at all with the quarterback situation, but I
They
do
ain't
like Trubisky.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, well, we've faced some Hall of Famers. I don't know about you. Yeah, one. Yeah, and then he came back like the second half and beat
Two.
you.
Two, actually, yeah.
Rusty's
You think
probably
Russell Wilson is?
when it's all said and done. I think
so?
Rusty gets there. Yeah.
Okay, but I already have two for sure. But at any rate, yeah, I think it's kind of a far flight.
Oh, so now Drew Brees is good, huh?
No, well, he only had to win with.
I'm just picking a
I know.
fight. Chuck.
Let's fight. No, I'm going to pick the Cardinals. Fuck
Good,
it.
good. You should.
That's a far flight. You guys did not impress me against Seattle.
Arizona.
They didn't impress me against Seattle, but I got to stick with them because I think that their defense is just too good. If their defense was a little mediocre, maybe without Mac, maybe I could say, oh, the Bears will fuck this up. But I don't think there's a chance in hell.
Who's the Cardinals quarterback?
Rosen by the end of
Sam Bradford right
Sunday
now.
night.
Bradford's a better quarterback than Trubisky. I'll put my money on him.
Yeah. Let's go fucking play catch with Tyrod. New England, Sunday night, coming into Detroit.
Detroit sucks. New England rebounds. New England doesn't lose two in a row. No way.
I'm thinking. Go ahead, Jon G. Go ahead.
Man, I'll tell you what.
You got to make up some games.
I really do, and I'm thinking this is the game I'm going to try and
That's
make
that
up here.
Monday night one, though. Right?
It's Sunday night.
Sunday night? Okay.
It's Sunday night, and you know what? I can't go against Tom Brady.
Yeah,
in Detroit.
we all remember what the Lions did last time they had a home game on a prime time.
And Bill Belichick knows Patricia.
It's true.
How many times has he Patricia probably called a play and he goes, "No, you're not calling that.
No.
Do this."
Just go sit over there and comb your beard.
I'm going with the Midwest. I'm going Lions upset.
Good. I hope they do.
Stafford's going to like stack up like 300, 350 passing yards.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And the Monday night, Pittsburgh Steelers 0-1-1. Who they tied, I don't know. Against the
Eat a
undefeated Buccaneers.
So if my AFC North picks are all correct this week, the Cleveland Browns will be alone in first place at 1-1-1 because I have the Steelers losing to the Bucks.
I picked the Steelers winning because the Buccaneers with Fitzgerald and that cool beard, you know, he's just trying to look like Conor McGregor, and he wears his wedding ring when he plays football. I don't trust that situation. And
His wife does.
Anybody with that much chest hair has my respect.
right. What about the beard hair? No, you know what? The Steelers are going to win that game because it's on prime time, and that's the Buccaneers, and that's how that goes. Johnny G, what do you got?
I'm going to go with the Steelers. Tampa Bay gets their first loss, and Fitzpatrick is not going to be Fitzmagic, as they say, you know. Plus, just to throw it out there, I heard
You're going with the Bucs?
Minka Fitzpatrick
Or the
from the
Steelers?
Dolphins just coined the term Fitzmagic or whatever.
Oh, he's claiming that for himself?
Trademark, yeah.
Good. Good, because by the end of the year, he'll be the guy people are talking about more than.
Yeah.
So the Browns will beat the Jets, and then the Steelers will lose to Tampa.
Not happening.
Well, you,
But if it does, it's going to give me more respect for Fitzpatrick. I will say that. So.
you also need Baltimore and Cincinnati to lose. Otherwise, you know, you're still behind those two teams in the division race.
Right.
Actually, Cincinnati's 2-0, so I'm wrong anyway. They can't. Sorry, Cleveland will not be in first place at the end of the week, no matter what.
They will not. They will not. Well, Bradley, how can these knuckleheads, if they have no life and they listen to this whole episode, how can they get a hold of us and
Well,
make fun of us?
Get on the Twitter machine. Follow us on there at fantasy_hustle. And if you get on the Twitter, you're going to see our voicemail line. That's 219-576-6797. You're also going to see our email on our Twitter feed, and that's Jon G's Fantasy Hustle at gmail.com. Hey, if you call or email, you'll be the first. So why don't you be that guy?
If not, we're going to have to disconnect our phone line because this shit's getting expensive.
It's costing some money over here.
Until next time, folks.
You wanna crown 'em?
Peace.
Crown their asses.